Okay, this is the charcoal video by request. It's going to be interesting. I think I've got pretty much what I need staged to be able to do this effectively. This is going to be kind of like a cool magic trick. Alright, and I'm plugged in on the charger here because I've got other videos uploading and it's really sapping the battery. But being out here, I should get good signal, even though the plugged-in charger also interferes with that. So, what do we got here? Let's take a look. First, this is the finished product that I'm going to have later. This is charcoal. This is just bits of wood, organic matter, specifically, mosquito, organic matter that has been heated to the point that all of the non-carbon molecules, atoms, gases, liquids, vaporize, evaporate. It's called degassing. Everything comes out of it. It is completely dehydrated. It is, as they say, charred. This is simply pure carbon. There may be a few other elements in there, potassium and whatnot, but it is predominantly carbon. Probably some calcium in there too, but that's charcoal. Okay, so it's a really simple process. How do you do this? Well, you need a paint can with a hole in the lid. I have two. What I'm doing today is I've got this one, which is a used can of blackjack that is roofing compound tar and some water from rain. Looks nastier than it really is. I'm going to use this, my first vented lid, and I'm going to take care of this in a moment off the camera, I believe. Yeah, I'll get that in a second. Anyways, this is going to go in there as it is with the closed up with the lid, and it's going to degas out of here and char all of this rubber out so that when it's done, I'll be able to bang the can around and it'll all just fall out. This is important to do if you're trying to make charcoal for anything other than just to light on fire. This charcoal I could just light on fire, the one that I've already got done. I'm making willow charcoal specifically because it is said to be the best for making black powder, for gunpowder. And also, because this is potentially going to be used in a proof of concept for water filtration, probably best that I not make a batch of charcoal that might get used with it, with that crap in it. So instead I'll use that can empty. Man, the bugs are coming out. And that one's going to roast out the inside. So here's the one that we're going to make charcoal with. I've already begun a little bit. Going to fill this up with little bits and then proceed to the next step. Okay, now that that is completed, going to put the lids on the cans. Okay, so the next step, we are going to take those. Let me set up a place here. First, we are going to place those in the fire pit. Then, we're going to build a fire. Okay, so now we have the tinder and the kindling. The tinder is the dried grass and some bits of rotten wood chip and cedar, because cedar burns very quickly. It's a line in one of the Gnostic Gospels. I'm not sure it made it into the official canon of the Bible, but at one point Jesus repeatedly says something about in the garden there are 5 trees whose leaves never lose their green, and he who knows those shall never taste death. Evergreen needles are great fire starters. That's also why you have to be very careful in evergreen forests with your fires. So anyways, gonna have the kindling is the sticks, a bunch of dried twigs, and some pre-burnt pieces that'll be easy to catch, its own charcoal-ish. And in just a moment, some larger sticks and then some logs, and then it will be lit. Okay, the fire is ready to light. Not sure I'm going to be able to get this thing to go with the magical automatical, so you may actually get to see me light this just a moment. Okay, Briesinger. So now we wait for this fire to grow, and once this gets good and hot and we start seeing some steam and degassing in the cans, we will get an update. I'm trying to have this be a half-hour long watch a fire video because it's going to probably take about an hour before the next round is ready, so it just all depends. So once this thing is, I don't know, I guess I go blow on it a little bit more before I cut the camera off. All right, so basically the next part of this is to let this fire go. I've got some bigger logs to put on to keep this fire going, and basically we're going to get a bed of coals surrounding these cans. The heat of the fire is going to spread all the way over. You can see it's already making its way through the starter fuel. Got some larger logs to put on once that kind of, you know, settles down a little bit under its own weight. And like I said, at that point we'll be able to see some degassing going on. We might even be able to see it now, so I'm going to go ahead and pull off of the thing here and see if we can see it. Alright, so what we're actually going to be looking at here is the top of the can. I believe that closer one is the one with the actual charcoal wood in it. We'll find out in a little bit. But one of these has a single hole and the other has 4 or 5 little holes. And we will see these little holes having flames coming out of them here in a little bit. Might already start having it going with the rubber one. Or the blackjack or whatever, roofing tar. So anyways, yeah, as this goes here, we'll get a little bit of time lapse in before the degassing occurs, a lot of which may happen underneath here, but it will definitely still be visible for a while as this burns down. So you basically just stuff your ventilated coffee can, and what's going on is as you can see, wood burns when it's heated to a certain temperature. The wood gets heated to the point that it degasses. The gas that comes out is itself flammable, and if it happens in the presence of the rest of the wood, even if it's becoming charcoal at the same time, it becomes inflammable. It catches fire, it oxidizes, further heat, etc. And fires are kind of what I guess you call like almost like a feedback loop when it comes to that. That's how backdrafts and things happen. So what's going on inside the can is exactly the same thing minus oxygen. And without oxygen, the fire can't burn. There's no what they call an exothermic reaction. Creates heat outwardly. Instead, we are somewhat forcing an endothermic reaction onto the wood by having it heat itself to the point that it degasses, but without having oxygen present, which means that by the time you let it cool down, it's in a position where it is unoxidized, unactivated charcoal, but at the same time, because it's cool, it's no longer in a position to just more easily accept oxygen and burn. Although you can take any of those pieces of charcoal that I've already made and easily light them on fire. They are ready to oxidize. The other thing with it is it's a lot cleaner burn when you do it that way, because everything else has already gone out into the atmosphere. You're really only going to get carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide out of that. Interestingly, the part of the reason the purity of the ingredients in a flammable substance that you're using for the purpose of burning, like black powder, kind of, like in fireworks, you can affect the color of it by certain impurities that you add intentionally, but when it comes to, the quickness or slowness, depending on what you're trying to do with burn time on gunpowder, or, as I said, if you're wanting to filter water with it, that you kind of want to make sure you don't have impurities and everything in it. But yeah, so there's no oxygen in that environment there. It is all sucked out the top along with all the other gases, and what's left inside is just hot wood gas. Basically, wood gas is all the sap, the terpenes, all the non-carbon, basically, all the water, nitrogen, phosphorus, all this other stuff. And as it degasses, it is actually flammable. You can collect that gas in a container. It is possible to collect that gas from the wood and then further use it like propane to burn. And actually, it's even been done where you can theoretically create a wood burning stove that creates wood gas that is enough sufficient flammability to power an automobile internal combustion engine with it. It's not perfect, but it has been historically proven a few times that it can be done. This is a very interesting thing. So that's actually what most of that plasma that you're seeing in that flame that is burning, that is superheated wood gas as it oxidizes and escapes. It's not, what fire is an interesting concept, because it's plasma. It's hot and separated. It's the protons and neutrons, or rather the nuclei and the electrons are not strictly hanging out together, which is why fire is so reactive and why flame touches things and it changes them, is that there are free electrons and free nuclei looking for electrons in it. So anyways, yeah, it's going like this. I'm going to pause this for a bit, let it burn down, put some bigger logs on it, and then we're going to take a look at those cans with the holes on the top. As soon as this bed of coals is going good, I can clear off the tops of the cans and make it much more easy to see. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay. You can see that one there. The jetting sound is coming from that. And you can see this one here's got one too. That's it. So basically, you go until that stops. That's the degassing. You can see the steam coming out the small holes. There's a jet kind of, you look at that vortex, you see it? You see it whipping and rolling around the big hole there. So a vortex coming out, a jet. That's what that is right there, is the wood gas jet from that. So anyways, we're going to do this until these jets stop jetting. Once the jets have stopped jetting, then we carefully remove the cans from the fire. We're going to set them over there on the piece of wood, going to get some rags over top and a brick or a piece of wood to hold down the top. You let it cool off without letting any moisture in. And once you're done with it, you have this cured charcoal. It takes about 15 minutes, 20 minutes for the can to cool down to touch. And about a half hour you can pop it open and look at that jet. Isn't that awesome? I mean, it's wasted gas. You could be using that for something, but yeah, once that's done, then it'll be finished charcoal. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here and wait for a while I go about some other business, and then I'll have some other videos to do as well. Okay, here, it's probably been about 5-10 minutes. You can see, kind of relocated the wood a little bit, circled everything with wood that's burning, keep that heat in the center and ignite the gas so we know what's going on. You can see the farther one's slightly brighter. So the farther one is slightly brighter. The nearer one is kind of the more dancier see-through flame, but they are both going. So yeah, just keep stirring the fire, keep the heat, keep the embers, tighten up the logs until, like I said, it could take up a half hour, an hour, or whatever total time for this wood to completely degas. Meantime, I'm relocating the last of those big walnut logs up by the wood splitter, and once this is done with the charcoal, I will go to the wood splitting video as well. I'm trying to keep these as pause segmented single topic videos. Unfortunately, they're going to be a little bit long, but I'll just get them uploaded while I'm at work, so you may not get this tonight. But anyways, yes, that's what's going on. It is still doing it, and I've got some other stuff I'm doing around here while it waits, and yeah, I'll show you a little bit more as time passes. Okay, so this is coming up on 20 minutes for this video, so I'm going to go ahead and end it as a segment. Got some other things to cover, and then we'll get a part 2 on this.